Hi folks, this is Jack Spirko with another survival podcast YouTube video. This is going to be phase 2 of the bucket project, the long-term storage bucket project. And we're not going to be putting items in the bucket, we're not even going to see the bucket in this video because we're going to back up for a second and talk about the purpose of this project, its long-term vision, and what we hope to learn from it, and how it's going to work with other storage mediums. I'm getting a lot of comments. Some of them are very constructive. One or two are a bit arrogant from some of the armchairs out there that I don't actually think do anything. About how, you know, we're going to be really hard pressed if all we have is pasta and sauce and no meat. I don't really get that comment because we haven't put any sauce up yet anyway, and we are just beginning. But I want to make sure that everybody, both the constructive and the snipers, understand the purpose of this project, where it's going, and how it's going to work together. So one of the kind of constructive suggestions would be, hey, why don't we throw a can of Yoder's bacon in there? And I'm a big fan of Yoder's bacon. It's as an advisory council member at Safe Castle, it's one of my recommended products. I have several cases of it here in the house right now. I use it for long-term storage, and we use it all the time. I use it to throw bacon on the top of a couple burgers that I'll whip up on a general evening out on the grill. It's a great product, but you know what? It's metal. It's cased in metal. It's not going anywhere. I don't have to protect this from rodents. And so I don't need to take up space in a long-term storage bucket for this. This can go into a different type of storage medium. It's also a different type of item. The stuff we're putting in the bucket, honestly, 2 years, 5 years, that stuff will last at close to 10 years by the time we're done storing it when we do all the packaging that we're going to do along the way. Canned bacon, this is probably a good solid 5-year product, but we never keep it around that long. We rotate it through. This is actually more economical than buying bacon in the store. One day I'll do a video for you just on how much bacon is in here. There's about 60 slices of bacon in this little can. I'll show you how you take it apart, what it looks like someday, but we'll do that at a different point. Another item that we'll be including in this project toward the end, but again, we're talking metal here, right? I don't have to protect this from rodents, and this is extreme long-term storage, but I don't have to do any additional packaging. This is a can of Future Essentials pasta and bean Tuscany soup. This is a dry mix. All right, so, you know, when I look at this can, it uses 1 cup to make about 3 cups, and there's about a cup here. So this is about 4 cans of soup in this one little can. Now, I don't need to take space up in my bucket because, again, I don't have to worry about rodent damage, and I don't have to worry about any additional packaging. This is a very long-term storage item. Here I have a number 10 can of Mountain House freeze-dried pork chops. There are, I think there's like 20 pork chops in this can. I got a case of these for $190. So they came out to like $1.14 a pork chop. This is a great item. Extreme long-term storage life. Again, no worries about rodents. Why would I put this big giant can in my bucket? The bucket is one part of the system. Let's look at a totally different class of product here. Here's some canned goods that we use every day that we also use as storables. Hormel smoked ham. Use this. That'll be part of the kit that we put together later. I use this a lot with peas and legumes when I'm making different soups, especially with free-dried vegetables. In fact, you know what? That would pair together really well. So you start to understand how these fit together. But this is a 10-year storage life item. This is a 1-year storage life item. So they might go in a bin together, but I'm going to be pulling this one out and using it long before I use this one. And I'm going to pull this out and use it probably long before I use the Yoder's bacon, but the Yoder's bacon probably long before I go into the soup mix and long before I go into the dehydrated pork chops. You start to see how this fits together. Tyson Premium Chunk White Chicken. I love this. It's great for making all kinds of things, chicken enchiladas, chicken soups. Buy what you, or eat what you store what you eat. We eat this all the time. It's also part of our storage. Canned meats. 1 year, good quality storage. 2 years, acceptable, but you start to lose a lot of nutritional value, and you'd get a degrade in flavor and texture of the food at 2 years. So this is something that, you know, this can won't see 6 months in our home. It'll get rotated, but it might be in that final storage bin. Another thing that we like to eat, I don't eat this often because this will put a lot of X's on those XLs, guys, if you're not careful. But Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings. Great thing for shit hit the fan. Protein, fat, balances out a lot of the other things, plays well with the dehydrated vegetables we'll talk about in the next phase. Something you don't eat often, but you know, we keep a couple cans of this around, and on a cold day where you've worked really hard, you've burned off plenty of calories, but you don't feel like cooking a meal, So again, these items here, we're talking about 1-year storage items in a Tupperware bin, accompanying long-term storage items in a Tupperware bin, instead of keeping, let's say, all our Mountain House in one big giant case, breaking them up into component parts so that as they're used, they're already matched together. That's where we're going long-term with this project. We're going to focus on filling the 2 buckets first, though. One last thing. People have been talking about nuts. We have a lot of packs of these around. These are vacuum-packed cashews. And I do this with pistachios as well. I buy big, giant bulk packages of them at Costco, vacuum seal them up, but they are a short-term item. This is a 6-month to 1 year storage item. We eat these, we rotate them through, we keep fresh ones around. But this, if I put this in that 5-year bucket, 5 years from now, these are going to be rancid no matter what I do with them because of the oils and the fats that are in them. So they don't go in the bucket. They'll maybe pair here, and different items will come out of that bin and get utilized at different frequencies and rotated at different frequencies. So that's the long-term vision of the project. Sit tight. I should have phase 3 coming to you today as well, and we'll be talking about some interesting things that we can do by dehydrating frozen vegetables that we buy at the grocery store. This has been Jack Spirico with another Survival Podcast YouTube video.